Hi, this is Randy. I have not made a video in so long. I want to thank everybody for still watching my old videos. I did put a lot of energy and work and attention into my videos, so I am really happy that they are still being watched, and I still think that they are valuable. I just have moved on. As many of you know, I started the channel Randy Andretti, and it was all about narcissistic abuse and narcissistic personality disorder, malignant narcissism, and it changed into being a channel about dating experiences, and I hit a wall, no pun intended, MGTOW. I hit a wall about a year ago where I just basically gave up on dating. I was not finding anyone, and so now here it's a year later. I've probably only gone on a handful of dates in the whole past year. I did have one relationship. It lasted for about 3 months, 3.5 months. For me, that's about the period of time that it takes for me to get to know somebody that I think at least is halfway decent before I decide that there's not going to be a future and then break up. So that's what happened. But I want to talk about what it's like being a single woman over 40 today. So I believe that this is one of the very worst times in history to be a single woman over 40. And it's because of the gender wars, and it's because of the times. And the only reason I even know this to be a fact is because of the internet, because the internet has brought us so much closer together, has made the world smaller, has made it so that from your own home you're able to kind of see this very wide spread group of people. You're able to do research, and you're able to see perspectives that they never showed on TV, and identify groups of people that you never even knew existed. One of them would be MGTOW, pickup artists, for example, third wave feminists, for example, the far left, the progressives, the alt-right. All of these things were only shown through pundits' eyes when you watch TV, and now you can find the news for yourself, and you can find people that you trust that are not pundits, and listen to their opinions and absorb the research that they've done and some of their wisdom. Many of these would be everyday people, and you can really get a different view of the world, which is fantastic in a way, but it also shatters your view of what you thought the world was through the eyes of just the regular TV media. And I've been so absorbed, not self-absorbed, but so absorbed, consumed by the internet and YouTube, because I just think it's so fascinating to be able to listen to people that I actually hate their views, and people that I love their views, and see kind of what's out there, understand in a better way what kind of people are really out there outside of your home. Like, you have this sense that people are one way, and then the internet opens you up to show you that there's like so much more that you didn't know. A lot of it is creepy, a lot of it is scary, some of it's good because you find your tribe, but anyway, back to the topic of why it's the worst time to be a single woman. So you're 40, right? And okay, you've had your kids by now, and they're grown. You're divorced, obviously, because most everybody is. And you decide you'd like to now find a man to share the rest of your life with. It should be pretty simple, right? You're smart, you've got a home, you've got a good job, you take care of yourself, you're pretty, and you should be able to find somebody that's like you that you're compatible with. But no, you're not going to be able to, because here's what's happening. Men and women are no longer compatible with each other. Men don't need women, and women don't need men. Now, men don't need women except for sex and childcare. And women don't need men except to provide money to them for their children if they want to stay home, or to keep a two-parent, two-income household running while they have the kids. Now, this should be a good thing that men and women don't need each other. I always thought that it's good not to need the other person, because it's just that you want them, right? So you're less vulnerable. You're going into a relationship because of something you actually want, not because of something that you need. That should have been a good thing, but it turns out it's not a good thing, because you take the children out of the equation, and now women don't need men to provide for the children, because your children are already grown, and they don't need a man to help them with the bills. They just pay the bills on their own, and they hire some handyman if they need somebody to mow the lawn, cut the grass, shovel the snow, and do the laborsome tasks around the house. Men still need sex, but they don't need women to take care of their kids, because their kids are grown too if they're over 40. And they still need sex, but they can get sex anywhere. They can pay for it. So with no children in the picture, all that's left between the sexes is sex. Any decent man can get sex anywhere, and the problem is they'll take it from anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's something that I learned. I never wanted to believe it, but I now do believe that it's true, and it's really sickening. Now, feminism, thanks to feminism, there's no more social stigma on women against being little sluts, against being very promiscuous. Supposedly, that's their right. Now, a lot of the people on YouTube have said that 50% of men, so that would be single men, and they're not saying age, but 50% of men are incels. So you know what incels are, right? Involuntarily celibate. They're the ones that end up being very angry and end up going crazy and shooting up people because they're so angry because nobody will have voluntary sex with them. And I've heard this statistic a few times, that it's up to 50% of the men are incels. Now that's disgusting. That means that they are so below average, and they can't even get another very below average woman to agree to have sex with them. It's sad, but it's seemingly true. Then we hear about the top 20% of men over 40. And the top 20 who have good looks and some decent amount of income, and with a decent amount of personality and game, to me, they're all taken. They're married. They're taken. They're not single anymore. Someone got them, and they're good guys, so they stayed with their woman. They're loyal. That's the 20%. It's not the 20% of players that get all these women to screw them. I think the top 20% are the 20% that stayed with their woman and are fairly happy, have built a life of love, and have built a long-term family and a commitment, and they continue to keep their relationship growing. That's awesome. That's what I wanted, but I missed out on it because I picked wrong. And now I'm the age that I am, and it is over 40. And since I happened to pick wrong, I'm screwed. So a friend recently sent me a meme that said, the smarter the woman is, the more difficult it is to find the right man. Boy, is that ever true. I'm going to need to post that meme on my Plenty of Fish profile because I've never seen it. I've always said it, but now I actually see it in writing, and it is so true, and I get so upset when guys say, oh, I can't believe you're single. Why are you single? Oh my God, you've been on here for 5 years and you're still don't have a boyfriend? They think there's something wrong with me. But just look at that meme, right? It's difficult the smarter you are. I've always known it, but it's even more compelling the older I get, that it would be better if I was a dumbass. It would be better if I had a minimum wage job and a 90 IQ. I'm convinced. So the other 30%, so if the 50% are incels, 20% are those that are taken, and those are the prime guys that stuck with their woman, and the women that stuck with the men, the happy couples. There's 30% left. 30% of men, those 30% of single men over 40, those are the subpar betas, I'm convinced, who just want sex. And they expect to get it pretty easily. Even when they're not very good looking, they don't have very much money, and they aren't very smart or funny. They just think they have a right to it. Why do they think they can get it so easily? Because they can, and they have. Men are indiscriminate, as I said. They do not care. They will take anybody who will take them, and that men are very promiscuous. I have not met any single men who have any kind of morals or standards, except for, breast size, butt size, body size. They definitely don't care what job you have, and they definitely don't care if you're intelligent. In fact, I think they would prefer the dumber, the better. There is a reason why the term was coined dumb blonde. It's actually a positive. So due to feminism, women are taught that they have this right to be promiscuous and not be ashamed of it. So actually, it's women that have to set the sexual boundaries in this society, but they aren't doing it. They think this is how they get equal to men. They just sleep around, and boy, they can say, see, I can do what you can do. Wow, ladies, are you happy? Thanks a lot. You created an empty life for yourselves and then bring me down with you? Now I'm considered a prude to insist on an actual relationship first, before sex. I'm considered a prude because I need to actually be attracted to the guy first. He actually has to do something, say something, entertain me, amuse me, treat me in some way, say something interesting, appear, and be attentive. I'm just not willing to go straight to bed with him because I'm really not interested in that. That's like far down the list for me. Anyway, it would be called being a lady, and there aren't very many ladies left anymore. It's called having self-respect. It's called having a little bit of morality, having substance, character, and virtue. Ladies, please gather up any bit of virtue that you can find in yourselves and stop sleeping around. You're ruining it for all of us. That's my rant. Thanks for listening, guys.